Well, good morning. It's Straight Razor Shaving with Longhaultanker, and I am he, Longhaultanker, and today is Tuesday, the 3rd of June, 2025, at approximately 10:45 a.m., and today is back to work today, and so my trailer is supposed to be getting loaded in the early afternoon, supposed to be ready about 3 o'clock. Don't know that I'm going to get very far today, but delivers day after tomorrow at about 11 in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama, which 750 miles. I'll get there easily. So anyway, let's introduce the equipment. I want to say a little something about, not much, but just a little something about this razor. It is the a Backle, and it says Soligen Workabite, yeah, something like that. You'll see it here. And now I've always believed that this was a 8/8 razor. And the reason what's it say here? It says there's nothing on that back tang. And it says Backle, Soligen, right there. And the reason I'm using this morning is that not only is it next up in my rotation or correct rotation on my new razors that I use. Sometimes I break the rotation, but I went back to it this morning for a couple different reasons. One, that's what I should do if I'm going to follow my own design. And the other is that the people over at Griffith Shaving Goods every once in a while come out with a release of vintage razors for sale. And there is a razor there exactly like this, a Backle with orangish yellow. I suspect they are. It's acrylic. It's plastic, is what it is, but the color resembles ivory. And they're calling this a 15/16, I believe it is. Now, for me, my razor here, I believe, not positive, but I think it's honed up on a conical, and we'll see as we get going. And so Griffith is selling their Backle razor, like this one, identical to this one, for I think it's $239. And so I did check it before I started the video, after I got out of the shower, and it's still available right now. And very good razor. I would not hesitate recommending this razor. The quality of craftsmanship, the materials used, etc., the design, the geometry, beautiful razor. And so you will not go wrong in spending that amount of money on that razor, in my opinion. All right, now the soap is Dovo Soligen Deep Leather. Dovo in collaboration with A&E, Ariana and Evans. And some years ago, not too very long ago, but they did this collaboration. Nice heavy cork lid with a nice ceramic jar. And there's that. Now, I've never hid my, I'm not a big fan of A&E soaps. I've never been a fan of these. There's 3 of them. This is Deep Leather, Berlin Barber, and Citrus Lion. And one of the dissatisfactions I've had with A&E soaps is that they don't lather. They're like a grease slick that slides across your face. And so I've never been real happy about that, but got to use them. I paid for them. I'm not going to throw them away. And so every once in a while, I will break them out. And so this one is deep leather. And you can see that it's not lathering like you would expect a tallow soap to lather or a Martin de Condé soap to lather. It's just the warm water in the sink, lathering up in the bowl, trying to lather. What I'm getting is just an oil slick. And as I add hot water, it melts and it's slick, it smears. Anyway. My morning weigh-in, when I'm at home, I usually try to weigh in on my scale and keep a progress record, if nothing more than a mental note to tell my doctors that are interested, my primary care physician, and now I had a good visit yesterday with my cardiologist. And I can say my cardiologist because I went back yesterday because when I was at my GP on Thursday over on the west side of Houston, I live way up on the north side of Houston now for the last 6 years, but I kept my GP. I did not go look because I've been going to him for over 20 years and I didn't want to look for a new GP. And it's not, I say it's not that far. It's far enough, close to 50 miles across Houston, 40 miles. And while we have a very nice medical center in the Woodlands up here with all manner of doctors and clinics and various sorts and sizes, St. Luke's and Baylor's and Methodist and etc. While I was over at my GP and I told him my story about what had happened about needing a cardiologist clearance to do the kidney stone procedure, he called down to a certain doctor, cardiologist, that I had gone to before. And I went to him in 2018, 2020, and 2022. So and of course, you know, the Department of Transportation requires me, because I have a stent in my heart, to get a stress test, a cardiac stress test every 2 years for, and I have to be examined. You can get a 1 year or a 2 year DOT medical card that allows you to drive a truck, a commercial motor vehicle, but you have to be examined every year, and then every second year you've got to get the the stress test. All right. So I'd been going to this cardiologist, but this last time in 23 or late 23, when I called him, and I remember this very plainly, he had just joined a new medical group, and his appointments were 2 months out. And I go, oh no, that's I can't do that. And so I got a cardiologist up in the Woodlands, Texas, just north of my house. But I didn't like him personally. I didn't like him, not one bit. All right, here we go with the Backle and the Dovo. I had a nice hot shower to get ready for work later today. I'm gonna go down to the truck about 2 o'clock. Got some nice music playing in the background. So, I will say that I am feeling pretty good about the arrangements that I now have set up. Having seen my old cardiologist yesterday, we set the stress test for the 18th. And he wants to do, because I'm getting older, the DOT will love him for this, because he wants to do a sleep apnea test. And those DOT examiners, medical examiners, are always looking for a reason to get you into a sleep apnea examination. I gotta say, the razor feels like it's a conical. And of course, I do all my own honing. Generally, unless it comes from the seller, honed, which, you know, I'm enough years out now from most of my purchases that I've either refreshed them or have re-honed them over the years, that all my razors, except for a very few, have the original store edge or seller's edge. Now, I don't know what the next few days are going to look like with me on the road, where I'm going to stop, if I'm going to get a shower and shave on the road, don't know. And so my next shave will probably be after I get home. And so if delivery is, let's see, today is Tuesday, Wednesday. Delivery's on Thursday. I should be home on Saturday, maybe Sunday. But I have an appointment on Monday with my new, it's an intake appointment, interview, get everything lined up. And so, with everything that's coming down the pike with the cardiologist, the urologist will be fine here, because I'll tell you, you're going to want a cardiologist release, a medical release for surgery, because of the stent in my heart and the medication I'm taking. But what was funny yesterday, the cardiologist that I'd been to before in years past, listening to my heart, listening to my deep breathing on his stethoscope, he said, "Oh, everything sounds great. Everything sounds good. Sounds so good." I said, "I know that." I don't know how much of that is leftover fitness training, athletic training from when I was a kid, but I played Little League baseball. I played all manner of sport in junior high and high school, constantly running, constantly training for the different sports. And I played strenuous sports, whether it was soccer. My high school wasn't big enough to have a football team, but that was the equivalent, soccer. And basketball in the winter, and baseball in the spring. I loved baseball. I played Little League for 4 years, then 4 years of high school baseball. And my junior year in high school, batted .400, which, you know, that's, and then my senior year, fell apart. So the scent on this soap, English leather, deep leather, sorry, smells just like that. It's leather as leather can be. Like you're walking in a leather shop. The saddlery, which we have a few of those in Texas. So I did my weigh-in this morning. I don't know if I said the actual weight. It was 117.5. And my weigh-in at the doctor's office yesterday was 222.2. And of course, you know, it all depends what manner of clothing you've got on, shoes you've got on, what you've had for breakfast, etc. Well, for crying out loud. Went all over the place. All right. something I don't hear a lot of producers make mention of, and I'll say it here, and that is because I just caught myself and I said, hey, there's an idea. A tidy workspace will make for, see, the number one goal is not just getting an excellent shave, but not to damage the edge on the razor, protect the edge at all cost. And unless there's some thought and discipline that goes into that, it's easy to lose sight of where you're at with the handling of the razor, and all of a sudden you've dropped it, or you've hit the faucet and you've chipped the edge, and now you're crying because your $500 razor has been mortally damaged. And so one of the things that can help is handling the razor the same way every time, all the time, and having a tidy workspace. And so you got your towels down, you got your the shaving brush lathered up, you got your lather bowl over there, you've got your wet towel here to the left, I got my dry towel here over to the right. And then I have a hand towel folded into quarters to the left of my wet towel, and that's where I set my razors when not in use, when not in my hand. And then when I go to pick it up, I always use two hands. I put the left hand on the scales and slightly raise it up. I put my right hand on the tang like that, and that's how I pick it up off the towel. Two hands all the time. And that made, after you've done it for so long, you know, it's taken me 10 years to develop a system from the very beginning, not knowing anything, and practicing to get to this stage today, that all this stuff comes just like second nature. And it's like shaving with the left hand too. I'm not naturally ambidextrous. When I was playing baseball, I didn't bat left-handed. I batted right-handed and never changed over. Didn't think anything about it. But I happened to watch an old Lynn Abrams. Actually, I logged on over there at Straight Razor Place, Lynn Abrams' new forum, and I just was surfing around and saw one of his, and it reminded me of, I saw one of his posts from recent, and it reminded me of all of the videos that he had done 10 and 12 years ago. And his admonition to learn how to use the left hand stayed with me, and I started doing it, and it was uncomfortable. It was unfamiliar. And so it took a minute to become acquainted with, competent, but today using the left hand is nothing. is nothing to me. And I've heard people say, people that I respect in our of our acquaintance in the YouTube, comment on the skill and so forth of shaving with a straight razor with both hands. People like Sean Staplefeld and Greg Gallant have complimented my ambidextrous use of the straight razor, and of course, you know, it's always nice to get a compliment, but it also took years of dedicated practice. Another thing that I do for consistency is when I'm not laying my razor down on my side towel over here, I have a constant resting place in my left hand for my razor, and I usually hold it just below my chest. Not too low because I don't want it to accidentally hit against the cabinetry at the sink. And I try to keep the blade edge pointed inward toward my chest or my, see if I, just below where you see that. I'm going to set it down now because I got to pick up my wet towel. But I keep it constant. If it's not laying down on the side towel, little hand towel, got folded in quarters, which is to say folded in half, then half again. And so I pick it up. I picked it up with two hands. I put it into its resting position because I also know that, well, no, because I'm coming back with the right hand, but if I was going to use my left hand, I'd be in perfect position. Now I just switch hands. Okay, that's it for the face shave, and we use this 15/16 or 8/8, if you will, Backle Solagen. And as I said at the beginning of the video, Griffith Shaving Supply has, this is an old vintage now, however it survived, or the one that Griffith has on sale for $239, and it's available as of this morning. Here it is. And so in use, and it's a beautiful razor. I've always called it an 8/8. That's how it was originally sold to me, as an 8/8. They're calling it a 15/16. Okay, fine. 1/16 of an inch. Well, it may matter in construction. You don't want to cut short. But there it is. And it's a beautiful razor, and it's very much worthy of your consideration. And so let's move on to the head shave. and we're using a Dovo, using a Colonel Conk Sologen. There's no number on it that I can see. And of course, it's this label. The Colonel Conk is a soap, private label. The scales are replacement scales by the original seller to me. And this has been a problem child to get honed up. And I've honed on it and honed on it. I guess I finally got down to some good steel because I've gotten some good head shaves off of it. I hesitate putting it into regular rotation for a face shave. Because I'm funny that way. It's got to be just darn near perfect for me to put it up into that rotation. All right. The razors I've been using on my head shaves, the Fox Cutlery and the old George Wostenholm, have given excellent shaves on the head. And I've got a Joseph Elliott that'll be coming up. And it's got a good edge on it. And the reason I relegated it to head shave is because it doesn't fit the same class. It's ugly. It's ugly. And I don't, it's one of those razors that had I known, that it looked like that, or it performs fine. I can't complain about that. All right, let's see how Dovo does. Colonel Conk. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Generally speaking, every time I do a face shave, I'm doing a head shave and it's included in the video for your viewing entertainment and edification. Oh yeah, that feels fine. Feels great. That's why my videos tend to be on the long side. Hour, I'm just broke over an hour, 50, hour and a half sometimes because I got a lot to say and I got a head shave. I'm going to put the brush down in the sink in the water for it to begin to soak and melt the grease pit that has collected in the brush, beginning to melt, get it melted off into the water. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of A&E soaps. Big grease pit. Now, it is possible if I get delivered on Thursday and where I get to Thursday night, I may very well shave on the road from a truck stop Thursday night. We'll see where I'm at. All right, do some refinements here, but that was Colonel Conk, Dovo, some sort of collaboration there between Colonel Conk and as a soap maker and Dovo as a razor maker. Okay, fine. Beautiful scales though. Dovo inlay, bolsters on the end, or this at least the bottom end, and very nice indeed with those scales. All right, now, all right, let's do a rinse off with the soapy water. And I see that there are others that are doing the final rinse off with maybe an alum block with the soapy water that they've rinsed their brush out in because of all of the nutrients, all of the chemicals that we like on our face from the shaving soap in the water on the final rinse. Well, maybe not the final rinse, but final rinse off might come taking the alum off, which is perfectly understandable. And I recommend that you do that to get rid of the alum block and the potential staining that it might have on carbon steel. But it's just a wipe off for me. And so oh, that's just a fine head shave. Neck feels good. The face feels fabulous. All right. Going to use Lucky Tiger with its aloe vera, candula, and chamomile. And it's got a nice citrus scent to it. And there's no particular rhyme or reason why I'm using it instead of Thayer's, other than just simply because I want to. All right, there's that. Give that just a second to dry on the face. I'm going to do a little more rinsing on the brush and a little shakeout right there. And final cleanup will come off camera. Just a little rinse out in fresh water, hot water. All right, and then for our final aftershave, we're going to use good Old Spice. Old Spice. Oh yeah, that all feels so good. And so I'm ready for work. And I'll be out the door by 2 o'clock, if not a little before maybe. And that's it. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you down the road.